Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today we are having to do some craziness. And I mean, when are we not? Am I right or am I right? We're having to back up the driveway again. I didn't say why last time, but the reason why I was confused and frustrated at the end of the last episode was due to the fact that that was going to be the case. But my expertise has only grown at driving in reverse. Ooh. Getting a little bit cocky. um, yeah. Well, hmm. Okay, well, we made it down most of the stretch, but you know. Anyways, my apologies for the brief, boring lack of vocal stimulation, but oh my gosh, this is like not. Yeah, see, like it adds like a whole bajillion bits of time to my thing. Like, I don't. It's just crazy. And it's over stuff that's not even my fault either. Like, these people have to. Yeah, so now it's like basically I'm late, even though I got out at a decent time. What a way to start the day. What a way to start the day. I kind of woke up too early, so I'm a little bit tired. Not really sure how this episode is going to go. But yeah, I mean, other people want to make living my own life difficult. I guess that's moral of the story, guys. Moral of the story. I wanted to leave early today, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What is there to even talk about? Generations, different generations, how every generation I'm kind of making jokes with myself that's not really going to be funny to whoever's listening. Yeah, I mean, generations used to be something that was a lot clearer to describe, to understand, to label. It just was. You did have a coherency between people. And I think now we have to think about how we even define the term and if we should even say that there are coherent generations anymore, because it's almost like we've reached a point where there isn't, in a way. Now, I guess broadly speaking, there still is generations, as there are still going to be some things that are unique or exclusive to the present generation that is indeed different from previous. However, I think we could and potentially even should actually look into changing the definition and basically saying we have reached a lack of generations because everybody is just so different. Even people within the same generation may not be knowing or aware or familiar with the same things. Whereas in the past, this was typically the case. It was every generation would kind of have an idea of what they all did and knew, and culture references and all that stuff. And I think it's actually really important for humans. It may seem somewhat silly or somewhat, oh, it's just culture. Oh, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, a lot of these things did matter and do matter a lot. And so when you have such a fragmented pop culture, it does tend to cause a lot of problems. It does tend to cause these problems. It's a fragmented pop culture. So even people within the same generation is not really enough anymore. There's all kinds of classifications and groupings now. So you have people within the same generation, but then you have different generational archetypes under each umbrella, which I guess is something that maybe was always the case, but I think with Gen Z in particular, and probably mostly with Gen Z, you started to have, well, I mean, really any of the recent gens, you started to have clearer archetypes. So you can have Gen Z, but there are, I think, many different faces to Gen Z. I don't think it's some like clear, oh, well, everybody from Gen Z is like this. I think there's a lot of different archetypes, and it has to do with media and how it's consumed and the destruction of the monoculture and how this just shapes different people to be completely different. And it's just totally not the same thing, like at all. You know, what's on one person's For You page isn't on another. In the 2010s, a lot of trends and things, I remember it. Like, everybody knew what everything was. And nowadays, that's just no longer the case. Not everybody knows what everything is anymore. They just don't. Because there's too many things. I mean, unless you really have like a broader For You page. You know what there should be? There should be a for all page. That's kind of what I think the internet used to be like, and more so. It used to be more like a for all page where we all kind of were seeing similar things. Like I kind of felt that I kind of felt that when I was in the 2010s. It was basically like the internet was a for all page. You had more centralized platforms. I know I mentioned iFunny before on here. I don't know if that's still a thing, but obviously when I was younger in the 2010s, I feel like a lot of the memes or jokes, like it would be all from the same like pages, kind of like it wasn't. Now it's like, if you see a piece of funny content or something, it could be from anywhere. I mean, I don't know. It could be some random person's video. It could be some random image. But, usually videos are the most stimulating. Videos are the most potent of the platforms. But yeah, I mean, it could be from any. There's so many different creators. I think there genuinely was less creators in the past. And I guess people always kind of followed smaller creators to some extent. But still, I think that a lot of people didn't. Like, I think a lot of people did kind of follow more universal things. And that's why I say the internet, it used to be like more of a for all page. And that kind of makes sense as how YouTube was even structured. You might have seen like a popular section where you had like the most viewed videos of the day, but everyone was kind of just shown whatever the most viewed videos were. We were all kind of, whatever came up in the suggestions or on our homepage was just things that got a lot of views. Somewhere along the way, it became very personalized. And so now it's a for you page. It's not everybody looking at the same for all page. I'm sure I didn't come up with that term, but it's mine. It's mine. I created the for all page. I made it. It's mine. Oh my gosh. I'm sure somebody else has thought of that before, but I thought of it by myself, so it's mine. It's mine. I made the for all page. It's mine. It's mine. So, yeah, it was different. It was a different. And so the thing is, it results in these more accurate generational archetypes. Like, how can you I don't know. How can you just call Gen Z Gen Z? And I know we couldn't have done this before either. Of course, humans could always be broken down into archetypes, but nowadays it's just crazy. I mean, the amount of different personalities and desires and dreams and aspirations that all these different people have. I think it's pretty crazy to think about. I do. I think it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, guys. I look, I gotta try to loosen up a bit. I feel like I'm just too strict and serious on this show, and you just can't make it through life. You just can't make it through life, you know? You just can't do it that way. So I really gotta figure something out. I gotta burst through the seams, like that's really what I gotta do. I gotta break through, I gotta burst through, I gotta smash through, I gotta demolish the seams. I don't even, why do we even need to talk about anything deep? What is the point of all this depth? Who cares about death? Who cares about about all this stuff, you know? It's just it's too much. It's too much. I want to be free to live. I want to be free to speak and never stop speaking. And that was really what's special about me. It's not that I'm saying anything meaningful, it's that I can say anything anytime. That was my skill. Forget about quality. Let's take it back to quantity, you know, like back to the good old days. The good old days that you guys don't even know because they were never recorded or they were never documented, sadly. I still wish they were. A part of me knows it's probably for the best that it's not documented, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure how else to think about that information, you know? But yeah, I'm feeling tired. I'm out of sorts today. I'm out of sorts. Why do people come into our lives and change us? Why can't we just have like smooth sailing stuff? I mean, are we trying to make sense of something that doesn't even make, is it just that the system is just so lousy that I'm coping with all this and it's actually that my life would have just been fine and better if I just had the right people come into my life? And what is the right person? I mean, I don't know what that means. So when I say the right people, I'm not saying the people I would want. I'm just saying, you know, whatever objective is, who would have been the right person for me? And then, you know, who am I to say that the right people haven't come in my life? I mean, I'm still living. I'm still breathing. So who am I to say to myself, like, who's come into my life isn't the right people already? You know, it could have all been some big master plan, you know? But like at the same time, then people, oh no, life's nothing. It's all random. There's no big master plan. I don't know. I've seen my fair share of things in my life to think otherwise. I can't lie. I can't deny. I can neither lie nor deny because I've seen some patterns. I've definitely seen some things, you know. And yeah, we'll see how much those 3 minutes mattered. I mean, I'm low key trying to speed because again, I'm trying to get out early, but the clock's not looking good. It's not looking good. I actually wonder. Yeah, no, the clock's not looking good. Nope, never mind. Grr. But yeah, how would I know if my life isn't being played out the way it's supposed to play out? I guess what you never know is about optimal. You know, that's probably, I think that was something I wanted to think about yesterday. So yesterday, we're thinking and we're like, nah, I forgot it. No, I remembered it. So yesterday we were thinking and we were like, what is the, it's in a way what I do is a little bit sickening to compare myself to other people and to see like, oh, well, this person's life is better than mine. That person's life is better than mine. But what good does that even do? Or like even this person's, it's that saying I've been heard my whole life, you know, don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to yourself. See whether you're improving or not. Because you're always going to be able to find someone better and you're always going to be able to find someone worse than you. So there's not really any way to get ahead by comparing yourself to other people. You need to just look inwards and see for yourself whether or not see for yourself whether or not. Sorry, I just had a random memory when I haven't thought about this in a while, so I guess I'm just going to say it. But I think it kind of knocked off the course of my conversation. When I first did track, one of my friends was on the team, and towards the end of the season, he would like a car ride home. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm remembering like a lot of random stuff now. Let me finish this thought first. So I was kind of stressed out because at first my mom was okay with just picking him up, but then after a while my mom was like, "Oh, well, we're not just going to keep like picking him up and taking him home. Like maybe we can figure out some kind of a alternating thing or something so it's fair. Like maybe sometimes his parents will pick him up." But like the only reason why we were picking him up is because I'm pretty sure otherwise he would have just been taking the bus or something. So like that didn't really make sense. And I tried to tell my mom that, but I don't think she was getting it. And she was very interested in this, like, no, well, if we're picking him up, why, maybe his parents should pick you up sometimes too. Like, I don't think she was really meaning much, but like, I don't think she was mad about it, but I just think that's how my mom thought, like my mom that was just like an idea she had, like, and I guess it makes sense on her end, but really what the deal was my friend was just, he was just trying to take advantage of things. And then I was trying to help him out. But then when my mom started doing that, I was kind of like, no, like this is going to become some silly thing. And then of course his parents are going to say how they don't pick him up anyway. And it would, yeah. So I think fortunately it was close enough to the end of the season to where it was all fine, but it is what it is. It happened. Now, another memory I have is in 9th grade, there was this girl who happened to be in my first period class, and I think they would sleep in a lot or something, and they had to walk to work. They had to walk to school, and so they would be late. They would tend to be late for first period, which was not a good thing, obviously. I don't even know why I just said that. Of course, I don't need to say that. And one day we saw her, and my dad was like, "Oh, that person's waving at us. Do you think they need a ride or anything?" And I was just like, I was like, no. And he was like, "Are you sure?" Because like I wasn't even friends with this person, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think I kind of felt bad about it, but I was like too shy or almost like too anxious about it. Especially back then, I was like really like, I mean, who doesn't have personal issues when they're 14? Who doesn't have social anxiety, But I really did. And it's like in retrospect, of course, like I wish we just would have picked her up. I guess it's just one of those things where maybe I did make the right call, because it would have like become a pattern, where it's just like this person, they don't always wake up on time. And then now what? Like every single time we drive by, are they going to be expecting us to just pick them up because we always drove the same way to my school, and then they always walked the same way, so it may not have been a great situation, to create that dependency. But I think where I'm at now in life, I do kind of feel bad about it, and it actually could have been an opportunity to like make a friend even, or just something, because back then I didn't really have a ton of friends, and I was always like, trying to look for that, and I couldn't find it. Like I just couldn't do it. Now I don't know. Maybe it was actually worth it, what I went through, because it's given me this memory and this realization. Like if I had done it back then, I don't know that would have meant anything. So it was probably for the better that I didn't do it, but it obviously leaves like an impact. It's not something I've thought about for a long time. I think I'm only mentioning it because I'm only mentioning it because the other memory popped into my mind, and that was in the same year, I want to say, that those two events happened. But yeah, school was so weird for me. I mean, everything in my life is kind of, because it's all very like in my head, and I think a lot, and I think a lot more than other people. And now it's gotten to the point where I think my thoughts are a bit smarter, because in the past I didn't really feel that was the case. So I'm just like super confused, because this car next to me in the left lane, like they just slowed down like really hard. And it's kind of confusing me. So I'm like trying to maybe get in front of them now, but it seems like but see, now a lot of people seem to be driving weird today. I don't really know, because earlier there was something to it. Yeah, and then now he like went around me. What? It just seems like there's been some weird drivers. Like he slowed down for like he put his brakes on and slowed down like a lot. And then he was in the left lane. I passed him, but then I merged in front of him in the left lane because that's where I'm trying to be. But then he just went around and merged into the right lane. And then now he's going like really fast. I don't really understand that. Like he literally put his brakes on. Like he was like braking for no reason. I thought that was kind of strange. See, I'm not really too sure about what's even going on. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Today's been a very like strange day. In a way, my true self is peeking out. The child inside that just, it does not want these episodes to be serious anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I want to have fun. I don't understand why I'm never able to have fun in these recordings. I don't know what kind of mental pressure is up in there, but it's got to get up out of there. So I was talking about how, oh my gosh, when I was 14, talk about a time, man. Talk about a time. Basically one of the worst times, period. I don't even know. Talk about a time. Talk about a time. Yeah, it was a rough time. A confusing time. But what time isn't confused? Honestly, like, when are we not confused about why our life is or isn't this or that? You know? When are we ever sure of ourselves? When do we ever think things are really going well? I don't know. I guess I kind of think things are going well right now. I can't really complain too much, but yeah, I can't really complain too much. At the moment, I think most of my qualms are moment to moment, not broadly speaking. I think broadly speaking, I was about to say I'm tired, but that's not what I was going to say. I was not about to say, broadly speaking, I'm tired. I was going to say, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I was going to say now. Oh, broadly speaking, I'm happy. I was going to be like, broadly speaking, I'm tired. But that is not what I was going to say. I was going to, yeah, man, we need gaming videos on this channel. That's what we need. We need some gaming videos. That's really what we need to be fixing to do. What is there to think about? Why think, man, I missed the 2010s. That was a good time. But I wish I could take what I know now. I know that everybody probably says that, but really that would be my one wish, is that I could just relive life again, knowing what happened. And I know a bunch of people say that too, but it's like, come on. That would be amazing. I really think, well, you know what, actually, it's funny that I bring that up, because it actually may completely destroy and defeat the purpose. Because I think part of the magic of growing up then was that